Yeah, I liked the finale. After having slept on it and thought about it for a bit, I did enjoy this finale. I'm not saying that's good or bad, I'm just saying I enjoyed it. There were a couple of cool sequences in this finale, and my personal favorite was Max entering Elle's mind world. The whole sequence of Vecna infiltrating Hopper's mind and playing on his insecurities about Elle, causing Hopper to think he shot Elle, and the look of horror on his face. Oh my god, that was great. The big battle against the giant kaiju mind flayer slash Vecna was enjoyable for me. Freaking Nancy Wheeler channeling her inner Ellen Ripley. I could play an entire third-person FPS of Nancy just letting shit go. But that shot of Elle jumping into the Mind Flayer's chest to go fight Henry, or that sequence where it's burrowing through those little mountains to get to Nancy and his jaws are just chomping viciously and Nancy's like, fuck it, I'm gonna... And then she's saved by the rest of the party and they just start doing an all-out attack on this thing. And it was so cool because they did the right thing as you should do when you're fighting a boss. Everybody hits a different part. Dustin and Steve going for the underbelly, killing like the little babies, and because it's a hive mind, it's gonna hurt the whole thing. Lucas with his wrist rocket, and Mike with the flare gun, and John with the flamethrower, and Robin with Molotovs. It was cool. Elle and Will do crazy damage to Vecna, and Joyce comes with the Nat 20 to critical finish. Speaking of Vecna though, I think the sequence in Henry's mind was really cool too. Him approaching to that cave and having to relive that fear and trauma of what happened to him that day, the thing the Mind Flayer didn't want him to see. Speaking of the cave, Holly in that 1, 2, 3 all eyes on me shit, kudos to her for being a leader, but that shit made me giggle. I do wish we got to see the kids go back to their minds in that little mind realm. There are like moments in this finale where I feel like they could have just added a little bit more footage, just gave us a little bit more. Also, another scene I wish they would have added is Elle jumping through these rocks to get to the abyss. I feel like they could have really gave her like a very heroic, triumphant, like I know my choice and I know my path kind of moment. But anyway, I think when Holly confronts Henry and slashes him upside the face with the little fire poker, this face that Henry makes is like very telling to me. He genuinely looks in shock and in fear that he was hurt, which is very reminiscent of the exact same thing he was feeling when he was shot by that man in the cave. But just like both times, he immediately goes into a violent outrage for this person that just attacked him. Let's talk about this scene for a moment. This whole room, this whole lair is filled with people that Vecna has put through the fucking ringer because of his selfish action. He's taken away something from everybody in this goddamn room. But Joyce, nah. This was personal because it was her baby in the first place. I'm so happy they put this sick bastard down the way they did, which was so goddamn cathartic. But just when you think things are good, the United States government comes in and fucks everything up. And I totally understand a lot of people's complaint about freaking Sarah Connors over here not necessarily being dealt with. But I genuinely ask you guys, do you guys think that the Stranger Things show should have had Hopper and the gang tackling whatever branch of the United States government is allowing these things to happen? And do you think you would have wanted to see that? Now, me personally, I would have very much liked if Murray at the very least got a fucking scoop out about the shit that's going on with the United States government and them experimenting on children, like him getting that stuff out because he was like that dog, he was like that whistleblower, right? But anyway, because they can't necessarily deal with the government and this whole cycle will keep going, Elle decides to sacrifice herself, which I'm like, understandable. I get that choice. This is your choice. We are here for you. You are with us in this moment to do it. We get to see you in your final moments. And this is such a heartfelt goodbye. You see Mike trying to literally fight for her in his mind, trying to get her to stay, saying he doesn't understand it. But it happens, and it's fucking sad. Why is Millie Bobby Brown curling her lips so much? But I think on paper, all of these chain of events work. The only thing about this segment of the finale is when the kids are freed and those little abyss particles float out of their mouth, all of that dust and stuff. I thought that was going to go back to the heart of the Mind Flayer and revive it, but apparently it went back to join that kind of ethereal fucking dust cloud that is the sentience, that is the eldritch being that they're dealing with. And I think showing what happens to those dust particles in their own realm would be a bit more satisfying, or at least leave us with a little bit more mystery, you know? Then the back half of the finale, I have no complaints about it. I think the conversations and themes around moving on, friendships not only forged in battles, but a thing you commit to, togetherness with the people that you care about, the pursuit of knowledge and understanding, remembrance, and even tackling the next big journey, whether that be solo or together. I think all of that is beautiful. Also, I want to show you guys something. I was so freaking happy that we finally got the dated Enzos between Hopper and Joyce. Side note, there are beautiful women in this play. Someone please tell me who the vocalist and the cello player are to Enzos, just for research. But I really like this scene because it shows just how far apart Joyce and Hopper are. When they're talking to each other, we get these like cuts to their faces, which makes them seem closer than they really are. And then when Hopper asks the question, he gets closer, but there still is that little distance. And then after Joyce says yes and they embrace, we get to see them truly close, truly together, truly, you know, a part of each other in this moment. And I just think that's beautiful. I love camera work like that. The party going back to do one final session of D&D and hearing how their story ends was so good. Like, I genuinely shed a tear when they were all putting their little character binders back up. This scene hit so hard, I don't know where to put my face on this part of the video because all of them, this just deserves to be just them. Fuck, this was good. Also, Max was really into this D&D shit. That's hilarious. I also think that Mike becoming an author, a writer, was pretty cool. I like that. And he got a little picture of Elle over there, aw. And then there's Elle. What happens to Elle? I've been seeing a lot of people either mad at this, happy about this, just everyone's having mixed feelings about Elle's fate, and I think that's understandable. But the show itself asks us to believe in the possibility that Elle is still alive. And I think it's up to us as viewers to make that decision ourselves. I don't think there is a definitive answer. You know, if you want to believe that Elle has a chance at a happy ending at the very least, I think this is okay. I think it's okay for you to believe that she lived. But I also think it is okay to believe that she perished in this moment to end the cycle that she was always going to be a part of. And once again, I'm not telling you how to feel about it. I'm just saying make that choice on your own and where you resonate with these characters and what you would want. Also, I know I'm going a little bit back here, but Dustin is valedictorian is hilarious, and it just proves you can't tell niggas with high GPAs anything. Because this moment right here is so real, and it made me remember my high school graduation so fondly. But yeah, that was great. Shout out to the cast of Stranger Things. Shout out to the Duffer Brothers. Shout out to the editing team, the camera team, the sound team. Shout out and much love to everyone who worked on the project over the past decade. Shout out to all the people who've been inspired to play Dungeons and Dragons or some tabletop game because of Stranger Things. I know there have been people saying a spin-off series might be happening, or that the place that Hopper is going to work to in New York is a part of some crazy government conspiracy that actually happened, and that might be what's going on, but who knows? Stranger things have happened.